right, so we asked you to send us your must-read guides on indie music marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, let's face it, getting your music out there,
Yeah.
it's tough.
It
It's
is.
like make or break tough.
Right.
But this deep dive is all about, hopefully for you guys listening,
Yeah.
turning those marketing hurdles into stepping stones.
Yeah. And what I think is so fascinating about the guide that we're going to dive into today is it really focuses on strategies that, while they're simple and very doable,
Right.
they're actually really powerful.
Yeah.
And I think, we're not talking about going viral overnight.
Right.
This is about how to build a real lasting fan base, kind of brick by brick.
It's like they say, slow and steady wins the race.
That's right.
So where does this musical marathon begin?
Well, it all starts with what's probably already your best friend, or maybe your worst enemy, and that's social media.
Oh, no kidding. It's unavoidable these days,
It is.
but it can feel like a black hole.
Yeah.
Like, how do you stand out?
Yeah, and you know what? This guide actually, I think, nails it, and it nails it with one word: consistency.
Okay.
And I love how they put it in here. They said, think of it less like a one-off concert
Okay.
and more like you are building a fan base, gig after gig.
Right.
It's that always-on approach.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really makes a difference.
So no more posting your song once and praying for 1 million listens.
Well, I mean, hey, miracles do happen, right?
All right.
But we're not going to bank on that.
Sure.
This guide is about making your own luck, and they actually recommend creating a content calendar.
Ugh. Okay, my inner rebel is, like, cringing a little bit.
I know.
Content calendar sounds very on rock and roll.
I know, it sounds about as rock and roll as a spreadsheet, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing.
What?
Even a simple calendar can help you stay organized, and more importantly, top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's about showing up regularly for your fans and giving them a reason to actually, hit that follow button.
So it's less about just, like, shouting into the void.
Yes.
And more about, having a conversation with your fans.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is where I think it gets really, really interesting because the guide really emphasizes that engagement is key to cut through the noise.
Okay.
And remember that indie artist we were talking about, the one who does those like amazing Q&A sessions?
Oh, yeah. Their comment sections are always on fire. Like, what's their secret weapon?
They make it personal. They answer fan questions about their songwriting process, what inspires them,
Right.
Even what kind of coffee they're drinking in the studio.
It's true?
It's all about building that human connection.
Whoa, that's brilliant. It's like you're turning listeners into your street team without them even realizing it.
That's right.
Which also makes me think about, like, those niche hashtags make a lot more sense now, too.
Absolutely.
I'll
Because
take
it's
that.
not just for show, it's like a homing beacon
Okay.
for your ideal fans.
Right. Okay.
So let's say, hypothetically, your sound is like, a blend of bluesy vocals with a modern electronic vibe.
Okay, I'm already hooked on this imaginary artist.
Right. So then you using hashtags like, hashtag electro, hashtag blues, hashtag modern blues, hashtag indie blues, all of a sudden, that becomes your secret handshake.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
With those fans who are like craving that sound.
Yes. It's like you're attracting the right people to the party,
Exactly.
not just throwing the biggest bash and hoping for the best.
Exactly. You got it. But, and this is something social media is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Right.
The guide also stresses the power of something that I think a lot of indie artists, maybe they don't expect.
Okay.
And that's collaboration.
Wait, like working with other musicians?
Yeah.
I always thought that was more like, you're getting signed kind of thing.
You know what? I think it's smart
Okay.
at any stage of your career. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Because collaboration, it's not just about cross-promoting your music, although, hey, bonus points if it happens.
Right.
It's about tapping into the power of community.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So think about it. You've got your group of fans.
Mm-hmm.
Another artist has their group of fans, right?
Why?
By joining forces.
Yeah.
Even if it's something as simple as like a guest spot on each other's live stream,
Right.
suddenly you're doubling your reach.
Plus, isn't it way less nerve-wracking to do a live stream with a buddy
Oh, for sure.
than flying solo?
Yeah.
Less pressure, more fun?
Absolutely. And, it can lead to some amazing opportunities. Like, remember that indie folk duo?
Yeah.
The ones who started doing online open mics together during the pandemic? They're touring internationally now,
Yeah.
and they credit that initial collaboration as their big break.
That's amazing. Talk about a supportive jam session turning into a dream career.
I know, right?
Okay, I'm sold on the power of collaboration.
Good.
But let's move on to something that Might be even scarier than a live stream. Email.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm more likely to delete those than actually open them. So email, is it really the secret weapon this guide's making it out to be? Because I feel like I'm drowning in my inbox as it is.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel that way, but think of it this way. Social media, it's like this crowded stadium.
Okay.
Everyone's vying for attention, but email's like that backstage pass. It's that direct line to your most dedicated fans.
Okay, I like that analogy. That's actually making me rethink my relationship with email a little bit.
Right.
But how do you keep people from, like, hitting that dreaded unsubscribe button?
Well, and that's where I think this guide really shines because they emphasize something called segmentation.
Okay.
And basically it's like, imagine you're writing postcards
Okay.
to different groups of friends, right? You wouldn't tell your grandma about your wild night out, right?
Probably not, no.
So it's about thinking of your audience in those segments and giving them what they want.
So, like, my super fans who, like, they're at every show.
Yeah.
They get, like, the exclusive behind-the-scenes content.
Exactly.
And then people who maybe just, like, heard my music for the first time, they get, like, a welcome message, a link to the latest single.
Now you're thinking like a marketing rock star. and you can even take it further. Let's say, new albums dropping soon. Those fans who always show up at your gigs, boom, early access to tickets for your album release party.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. It's all about, like you said, that personalized experience.
You've officially turned me into an email believer.
Good. I love it.
This is way more strategic than I ever thought.
It is.
But speaking of strategy, what about websites?
Yes.
Because those can be, like, such a black hole of, like, SEO jargon and, like, coding nightmare.
Sure. But this guide actually does a good job of breaking down SEO simply.
Okay, good.
So imagine your website is like a shop, right?
Okay.
On a busy street.
Okay.
Keywords are like those bright neon signs that make sure that the right customers, the ones who are looking for your unique sound, actually walk through the door.
Okay, that makes total sense. But how do you even, like, choose those keywords? Do you just throw a bunch at the wall and hope for the best?
Well, not quite. It's about putting yourself in the shoes of your ideal fan.
Okay.
What are the words that they would be typing into Google to find your music?
Okay.
So let's say, hypothetically, your sound is you create these cinematic soundscapes, blending orchestral instruments with ambient electronics.
Ooh, I'm already lost in this soundscape. Keep going.
Right. So keywords like neoclassical, electronic, orchestral, cinematic music, those would be kind of your bread and butter.
Yeah, and don't forget location-based keywords, too.
Yes.
If you're doing gigs in a certain city.
Right. So if you're playing shows in Nashville.
Nashville musician. Live music Nashville.
There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
It's like you're speaking the secret language of the internet.
That's right.
Which brings us to the big leagues, ads and playlists.
Yeah.
Those still feel like the holy grail of marketing.
Sure.
But also a bit mysterious.
A little bit, yeah.
And kind of expensive.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's why
Okay.
that foundation we talked about, social media, email, your website, those are so crucial.
Okay.
Think of them as the warm-up acts, getting everything ready for the main event.
Okay, so we've got the foundation. Our warm-up acts are ready to go.
Yes.
How do we use ads and playlists to, like, really blow the roof off this thing?
Well, I think with ads, you got to think of platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
They're like your virtual street team, but with laser focus.
Okay.
Because you can actually target people who already love artists that are similar to you.
Right.
Talk about putting your music right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, it's way smarter than just, like, blasting it out to anyone who will listen.
Right.
But I will say, sometimes I feel like those ads, they make me cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you walk that line between, like, being noticed and being annoying?
Yeah. And I think it goes back to crafting a message that's genuinely compelling. So instead of it being like, listen to my music, it's like, hey, you love this band. You might dig my sound too.
Okay.
It's like inviting them in, not shoving them through the door.
Subtlety is key.
There you go.
Okay, ads, check. Now, playlists, those still feel like a secret society.
I do, right.
How do you even, like, crack the code?
Yeah, and this guide actually had a great tip on that, and again, it goes back to targeting,
Okay.
but not just like genre-wise, but remember that platform Submit Hub that we talked about?
Yeah, the music matchmaking site.
Exactly. It's like sending your demo directly to the A&R team,
Okay.
but instead of record execs,
Yeah.
it's playlist curators
Okay.
who are like actively looking for new sounds.
Oh.
So do your research.
Okay.
If a curator's playlist vibes with your sound, green light, submit to it.
So it's like finding the perfect stage
Yes.
for your particular musical style.
That's it.
But I mean, I imagine those curators get like bombarded
Oh, yeah, they do.
with submissions.
For sure.
So how do you like stand out in their inbox?
And that's where that personalized touch comes in again. And I thought the guy gave a great example
Okay.
of there was this indie pop artist who actually landed a spot on a huge Spotify playlist.
Wow. Okay.
And they didn't just send a song, they crafted a pitch
Okay.
that resonated with the curator's very specific taste.
So it's like any good relationship.
Yeah.
It's about connection.
That's it.
Not just a one-night stand.
Exactly. And honestly, that's what I think is so refreshing about this guide is it really does, it reminds us that all these tools, all these strategies,
Yeah.
they're only as good as the music and the message behind them, right?
Yeah, it's like having like the best guitar in the world.
Right.
It's the heart you pour into it
Yes.
that makes it come alive.
100%. Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom to leave our listeners buzzing with inspiration?
I would just say, don't be afraid to experiment. Find what feels right for you. And never lose sight of the joy.
Yeah.
Music is meant to be shared. So
Yeah.
go out there and make some magic.
Music to my ears, and to all of our listeners, remember, we're right here with you, diving deep into the world of music and beyond. Until next time.